morning and welcome to your Saturday morning waker-upper. I'm Alero Edu and this is Sunrise.
Miguel, I'm Ayo Makinde.
Oh dear.
Welcome to the program.
Mavo.
Same to you.
Well, this is the last Sunrise for the month of March and it's the one before the long holiday. Well, okay, it is during the long holiday. Monday and Tuesday have been declared holidays to celebrate Salah with our Muslim brothers and sisters.
No, because when you say long holiday, just, the long-term holiday that we used to take after third tap in secondary school. That's what I thought I heard, no vex.
I think the cap on your head is disturbing your brain.
Oh, you mean it's affecting network? No, not really.
Yes, I think a good place to start today would be these new speed limits instituted by the Lagos State government. Yes. Well, okay, Third Mainland Bridge, that's 80 kilometers per hour, max. Alakbere, Ogudu Road, 80. Mobolaji Johnson Way, Ikeja, 60. Ojota Bridge, 50. Oh.
Ojota Bridge.
Which
one? Which? Because
by motorway.
Oh. You can't even run past 50 for that place now.
There's always traffic.
There's always traffic there.
Then, the one that really freaked me out is Lekki Ekpe Expressway. What am I saying?
What are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Oh, okay. Lekki Expressway is 80. Okay. And Ikorodu Road between 50 and 60. Some of these limits are rather strange, and they are just recipes for a traffic jam.
No, let's be honest. First of all, someone said that traffic in Lagos is untapped revenue. Let's be clear about that.
How?
The measure of traffic offenses. The measure of traffic offenses where they happen for Lagos, so don't be smart.
Brossier, tell me.
Hey. You see, the people where they exempted for this thing where they never talk so. Now traffic, transporters.
Well,
no, but I'm coming back.
I was saying, are they going to be able to enforce it with those Danfo drivers and those?
Now, wouldn't I just talk so? Eh? Now, wouldn't I just talk so?
I mean, they pursue me for roadworthiness. My car looks like new, and they pursue me for roadworthiness. And then a Danfo drives past me that has nylon paper, nylon sheet as its rear view shield. And it is allowed to go. And that has passed the roadworthiness test.
You see, when you talk about roadworthiness, what are the parameters?
It doesn't apply to them.
No. Your car may be in the spirit, may not be roadworthy.
In the spirit.
What's up?
In the spirit.
Maybe roadworthy.
You see Danfos that have no headlamps. Some of them have broken headlamps, and yet they pass. We have
raised this issue before. Another thing that will shock you, even now.
Pass in inverted commas.
Even now, Alero, as we speak, go to any red light, any road traffic, whatever. You'll find that once the red light is on, Marwa, they find how in the Gotewaka, the bikes. It's like the lights don't affect them.
They don't even see the lights. Forget.
Now, let me give you another clincher. You see the yellow box that's drawn at junctions?
Yes.
The expectation is you are not supposed to drive and stop
inside
the middle
that box.
Of that yellow box.
Benny.
Make I tell you, our friends in traffic management at those junctions will say, come. Park inside the yellow box.
Yeah.
So that they can, you can Roger.
Yes.
You know the meaning of Roger. It's not Roger Mo.
We know the meaning.
So the thing is, No one is going to stop you on the road and say that you have flattered anything. No. What is going to happen is there are cameras.
Computers.
So the moment you pass that red light, that line, that limit, the camera will measure it and flag you. You have committed an offense. So,
And if we send you, you're fine.
in your own interest and by the mercies of God, I beseech you, pay attention to those things. Please look for them if you are not sure. Just look for them. But besides, Alero, let's be honest, except on the Third Mainland Bridge, and you know it's really criminal when you see a roadway fine.
And you cannot speed.
You cannot do what you are supposed to do. I didn't say speed, though. Cannot do what you're supposed to do. It can be very frustrating. However, by the way,
But the thing is that, okay, I'll make sure that I don't go on Third Mainland Bridge on a Sunday or on a public holiday, because the temptation will be a lot. It will be a lot.
you know there is a range on your speed limit that they call soon and very soon. You will get to that place. You just want to. You want to try
And you're
it.
supposed to be doing 80. You're supposed to be crawling. Well, if you have what's that thing called on the car? Cruise control.
Yeah.
Just put it on cruise control at 80, so that you just let it just go by itself. You will get there eventually.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Wins the race. Yes, and then this matter of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan will just not go away. Now we're told that INEC has actually found the addresses and the emails, addresses and telephone numbers of the petitioners, and it has informed Mrs. Akpoti-Uduaghan that there is a motion, well, what should I call it? Motion for her recall. I mean, this is the first time we're going to test this, isn't it? I know that in this, it's always Kogi, isn't it? Remember, the other time it was the people trying to recall Dino Melaye.
Well, you are right.
And it never happened.
You are right when you said that this is not the first time we are attempting to try. But you see, you know what they call road bumps? The road bumps
There are plenty.
on the road to recall.
They are
They are not just plenty, they are high.
They are bumptious.
They are bumptious.
They are
the
very
bumps,
bumptious.
you know bumps are supposed to be looking pregnant. The bumps are now pregnant. So, it's a...
But you know, Adeola Fasehun says, okay, so we saw them forging signatures. We saw the videos are everywhere, but INEC says no, that they have found. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead and recall her, but let's also go ahead and recall the Senate President himself, because he too has committed a recallable
offense. Let them go and look for his own phone numbers. And what did you call it again?
phone number, address, and email address.
And email with the names.
So they'll carry their own Ghana Must Go bags full of
whatever. Please.
to INEC.
Whatever. Whether they are collecting money from traffic offenders or whatever. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's painful to mention this, but I just have to mention it. That football match.
Which one of them?
Nigeria, Zimbabwe. Sorry.
Nigeria won Rwanda. On I not celebrate. Nigeria drew. And I can't complain. I beg.
But we had to do more than draw to proceed.
But at least you drew. They didn't beat you in your house.
But we didn't proceed. We are still in the 4th place where we were.
Is this your first time? Please, good news. I'm not sure, but I think it is the president's birthday.
Oh, yes, it is. Happy birthday, PBAT. T.
PBAT. Why does it sound like puberty in my ears?
I said T and I refused to finish it.
See what?
Strengthening Nigeria's democratic institutions.
Well, incidentally, the presidency is a democratic institution. And Global Money Week and Financial Literacy Day.
Okay, be teaching us how to look after money and how to make money make money. Okay. Olivet Heights is 80.
Gege, we know ourselves. Up school? No, we don't usually say up school. We just say Olivet Heights. Give them something. Don't forget that one. AMPA Week is up next. This week is 2025.
And in our lifestyle segment, we have positive reinforcement.
Pretty much something like
Kilonjebe.
you will find out. A lifestyle of love, actually.
Love?
Yeah.
It's not Valentine. It's not February. We've gone past that.
See this woman. You'll be Niger Delta true.
You are loving every day. Oh, tomorrow is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you all.
See? Love. And next is the Artist of the Week. All I can say is it's a human being.
No, JB, dog.
Okay.
Bring dog.
It's a human being. We'll be right back. Please get your cup of cocoa.
Or cocoa.
I will be right back with the rest of the show.
Political observers say there are two issues that have stopped Nigeria translating its democratic dividend into better economic outcomes. The first is poor quality leadership. The second is weak institutions. This has led to poor governance, corruption, and insecurity. Without strong and ethical leadership, institutions are weakened, and the established culture of democracy frequently withers. Democratic culture is a set of values, attitudes, and practices shared by citizens and institutions, without which democracy cannot exist or thrive. To look at this in depth with us this morning, I'd like to welcome Mr. John Oloyede, who's a legal practitioner. He is with us in the studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me one more time.
Thanks for joining us. And we have Dr. Olatunji Shobodu, an associate professor who joins us via Zoom, and he is of James Hope University. Thank you very much for joining us. So, Doctor, can you please unmute?
All right, while we are at that, and we hope we will have a third guest to join us this morning, but let me begin, Mr. Oloyede. You know, the thing that disturbs many people is maybe like a question. If you would assess the strength of the, maybe first of all, the characteristics of a strong democracy, such as Nigeria, 26 years and counting, what would be your assessment? The strength of our democracy.
Nigeria's democracy,
Yes.
my assessment,
Yes.
is very, very poor, very weak. In actual fact, we cannot say we have a true democratic setting in our nation at the moment. And the reasons are not far-fetched. I think in the opening glee, it was stated that poor leadership and weak institutions have always been the bane of any development in Nigeria.
But at the end of the day, Mr. Oloyede, a strong or weak institution depends on the resilience or otherwise of the people.
Well, incidentally, we can't be talking of resilience of Nigerians in the setting we're in at the moment. You see, we pride ourselves in the fact that, oh, we are very strong, nothing phases us, nothing disturbs us. Yes, we have been pushed to the wall, pushed through the wall, and we don't complain. We are just a peculiar people. But that does not mean that we should continue living with the nonsense. Now, what I'm saying is, all of us here and out there, we know that, I mean, we don't have democracy. We're not practicing democracy in this country.
So what are
I
we
mean,
practicing?
we're just practicing maybe pseudo-democracy. I'll call it that. First of all, you look at it. I don't know which one comes first. Is it poor leadership or weak institutions? Like they say, is it the egg or the chicken? Which one comes first? Is it the leadership that is fostering on us weak institutions, or is it because of
But
the
we
weak
are the
institutions?
ones who select those leaders.
Now, under duress. Under duress. I mean, let me tell you why.
Why do we allow ourselves to be put under duress?
You see, democracy cannot thrive in a situation where there is penury. I'm not talking of poverty now. I'm talking of penury. And then ignorance. Most Nigerians are not educated up to the level to begin to even appreciate the fact that, look, when you collect 5,000 naira to cook a pot of soup and then vote a very stupid person in to lead you, you are going to pay dearly for the whole time that that person is going to spend. A lot of Nigerians are not that educated. Secondly, poverty. Now, the politicians have weaponized poverty such that year in, year out, people have no choice. Well, I mean, a lot of times I wonder, even if they give you 100,000 naira and you go to the venue of the election, can't you still exercise your discretion and vote for the right person or the person you think is right? But look at it. I mean, you have a situation where even electoral integrity is totally lacking. INEC is a different ballgame. People will go there and take their own people while queuing, and they will be sharing money. The security men who are supposed to prevent this kind of thing happening, they look the other way. And if they choose not to look the other way, they get attacked. We all saw what happened in 2023.
But that's just one. My apologies, Mr.
Yeah.
Lede. That's just one aspect of our democracy, because democracy has a lot, more to it. Well, let me ask Dr. Shubodu, what would be your take, particularly about the strength or otherwise of our democracy? I have to be honest. I'm particularly concerned about the quality of people who select leaders, the quality and quantity of people who select leaders that will govern a whole nation of more than 200 million people. So if you would, first of all, take an overview, an assessment of the strength or otherwise of Nigeria's Fourth Republic democracy, 26 years and counting, what would be your assessment?
Well, thank you. I mean, I clearly do not, share my view is that 26 years and counting, you said. 26 years and counting, there has been no interruption. The various houses are operating at the national level, at the state levels. We're having elections. I mean, people are being elected. We can't say that we're not making progress. I mean, let's be true to ourselves. 26 years, we know the history that we have with military governments and stuff like that, but 26 years on broken run, there's something that we're doing well. We shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And all too often, I think that, we're quick to point out, deficiencies in a system and to try and write off, the system as a result. It can't be that for 26 years we haven't done some things right. It can't just be, and it's not true, and so I believe that, yes, we have challenges. Yes, we have challenges. But let's be careful not to compare ourselves, with people who have implemented the same structure over hundreds of years. Even if we say, well, yes, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but our context is different. Our context is peculiar itself. And failure to recognize that and just try to foist, as it were, to use the same kind of, benchmark to compare will not get us anywhere. Let's be frank with ourselves. We do have challenges. We have challenges with the systems, with aspects, but we are doing some things right. What we should focus on is how to address those challenges. I don't share that if things were that poor with the democracy would have since been jettisoned by now.
Okay. Okay,
Would
Dr.
have said-
Shobodu,
Yeah.
it seems in this dispensation that we are forgetting that we have three arms: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. It looks like they're now blurring into one institution. If these powers were not shared, just imagine where America would be with all the wild things that American President Donald Trump had in mind to do. But
Yeah.
regarding some of them, he was checkmated by other parts of the other parts of the government. Does it not seem to you that we are losing it here now because we seem to be just nodding like gamma lizards to everything that the executive wants?
Well, I'm not sure that is true, quite frankly. I'm glad you brought up the Donald Trump issue. Think about it. Over 200 years of democracy, nobody would have imagined that the things happening with a Trump presidency would happen in the US. If the democracy was so perfect, why has he been able to do so much? Why is it that he's doing so much? Why is it, for example, that even within the context of the House, the members of the so-called opposition are limited? The man is having people, appointed to positions, and the opposition can't do anything. Why? Because the House is structured in a way that, his party holds the majority. A lot is happening there. That's in a place where they have practiced this so-called democracy for over 200 years. And so they have challenges with democracy right there. Don't forget also, I think when we talk about this separation of, powers and all that, don't forget, for example, that the Supreme Court, in the US is also somewhat politicized because you have more people appointed by the conservatives, than those appointed by the Democrats. And one of the games that I believe that, Trump is playing is that, he would do some things so that you can go to court. And ultimately, he's expecting that, the case will get to the Supreme Court where he believes they have an upper hand. So let's not permit me to use the word, fool ourselves into thinking that, there is some perfect, democracy anywhere. What is important is that the system is a play of power. We always forget that. We always forget that. You want to have your way, whatever it is you want to do, however sincere, you may be, whatever may be your heart for the nation, you must contend with the play of power. You must contend with the play of power. Where at times I think too naive into thinking that, once somebody comes, the person has to do what you think, the person has to. In reality, what is the national interest? National interest is defined by who is in power. That's the truth. Today, look at the issues, look at the things that Trump is doing. He believes they're in the national interest. But there are people who are, shouting today. Some of them even voted for him, and they are surprised at what he's doing. But if the Democrats were there, and when they were there, they had their own separate, set of priorities. As far as they were concerned, that was also in the national interest. So this is how these things go. Now, when you talk about in our setting, there is no wise executive who will not know that it's important to have a good relationship with the legislators and the judiciary. The fact that there is a good relationship doesn't mean that there is separation of powers. By the way, when we're also talking about the National Assembly, all right, the lawmakers, is a makeup of different parties. So there is the play of power there. It's a makeup of different parties. What are you expecting? You're expecting members of my party to oppose me as a president when I push something to them where they have a majority. I mean, let's wake up. It's not going to happen. If I manage my house very well, when I send things to them, haven't done my homework, they're going to support me. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So, and I think that also when you have somebody who is like a president, or maybe even at the level of a governor, who is able to manage his or her rapport with the assembly very well, of course, he's going to have things, work out his way. Are you therefore going to say that because that is happening, there are no checks and balances?
Dr. Shobodu, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
He has got, because his party has the majority in the House, he has
Yes.
got them on his side. So he expects that when he sends things to them, that they will be on his side. Even if those things that he is sending
not without
are
not
against
without,
the Constitution.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know if you are talking about any specific event. If you are talking about a specific event, we can address that. But I'm talking conceptually, in general terms.
Me too.
If I were president and I have members of my party who hold the majority in the assembly, all right, of course you would expect they are not going to just rise up and oppose me for the sake of trying to show that, there is separation of powers. Now, if I manage my relationship very well, I give them the respect that is due to them. My liaison with them, all right, is good. I would have their understanding. Don't forget, please, that I would not be stupid enough to send things to the assembly without having prepared the grounds, without having spoken to my people, without having consulted with my constituency. Don't overlook that. When you have someone, who realizes that, who approaches this so-called separate, segments with that understanding, not one who just foists his desires on them, of course he's going to have better understanding.
Okay.
They would have tidied up things before it even gets to the House. That's what is called politics.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah.
Loyede,
Yes.
I'd like your thoughts about what he said.
Oh, well, my retort is this. If the democracy is supposed to be people-driven, then the whole idea that because the president belongs to a particular political party and he has a majority in the houses of assembly, then he would have watered the ground, he should control things without reference, without recourse to the feelings or the needs of the people. I mean, that's why we are here. Our democratic institutions, are they working properly? They are not working properly because they are not people-driven. First of all, when we have elections, it is not about your votes. A lot of people are not voting anymore because they believe that their votes don't count.
True.
And democracy is supposed to be people-driven. Now, you then elect people, in quotes, you elect into the various houses of assembly at all levels. And when they get there, you don't even see them again. The issues, the bills they are putting before them to discuss, nobody comes back home to say, oh, how do you feel about this? And then they approve it. Imagine a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria admitting in full public glare that, oh, before we decided on the state of emergency, oh, we got $5,000 each. We got 5,000. Oh, it was for Ramadan. I mean, it is not that democracy should be in place. People must feel it, must feel that we are actually in a democratic dispensation. What we are saying is not that, yes, we don't have political, we have all the structures are in place, but they are not working the way they should work. We are talking of, yes, separation of powers. You have a situation where when things go wrong, everybody, all the politicians now say, oh, go to court. Going to court now is not about getting justice. It's obvious. is go to court, go and ventilate your grievance. Don't make noise out here. Don't disturb us while we continue messing up democracy. But go to court, the court will take care of it. And the decisions of our courts today. Look, Dr. Shobodu said something. He said, yes, we cannot throw the baby away with the water. Now, some of us have been alive long enough, and particularly in our spheres of practice in law, to know that the courts are not what they used to be. I don't believe that retrogression is anything. The
Thank God it's coming from a legal
yes,
practitioner.
yes. I mean, the truth must be told. I've always said...
Quite a number of them actually hold
Now, you can't say, for 25, 26 years, we've been practicing, that's enough achievement. No, that's not enough achievement. Why did we adopt democracy as a form of government? We wanted something better than military rule.
Well, perhaps where he's coming from, and you would also know this,
yes.
The First Republic, I don't think it lasted up to 6 years.
I agree.
I'm coming somewhere. Yeah. The Second Republic lasted about 4 years and a few months. The Third Republic, I'm not even sure it ever really got off the ground. And in fact, there was an attempt to start off the Third Republic twice, and it failed woefully. But this Fourth Republic, 26 unbroken years. Well, there are those who point to the strength and the charisma of the first president in this Fourth Republic, and that it was because he took one drastic action among the military top brass that we're able to be where we are today. But if I'm to ask you, when we're talking about democratic institutions, Mr. Loede, now we know that the legislature or legislative bodies is one of those democratic institutions. The presidency, the executive arm of government, or even the governor's office, is a democratic institution. The judiciary is a democratic institution. The media is a democratic institution. In the electoral bodies, they are a democratic institution. Civil society organizations, they are a democratic institution. How do you see these democratic institutions being... Because, maybe I should ask it this way. Which one of them is weak? Which one of them has a balance of strength? And is there a need for them to all collaborate at some point and say, if we're going to strengthen Nigeria's democracy, we all need to be on the same page?
You see, separation of powers does not mean that each institution should exist on its own in isolation. Mm-hmm. They are supposed to work together, cross-referencing. When this comes, how do we do this? You do your own job, I do mine. Now, I am not one to say, because we have had this Fourth Republic for 26 years, then we should hail ourselves. We should give ourselves pats on the head or on the back. No, it is not how long, but how well. Somebody might live as long as Methuselah. And, when he dies, nobody remembers him for anything. And then somebody will... Jesus Christ was here for 33 years. Till today, some people still call him God. Now, what I'm saying is that we might have had democracy for 26 years, but are we really progressing or retrogressing? Here and there are some good things. The road leading up to Channels is much better now. From my house to this place, I didn't spend up to 20 minutes. And that's an achievement. It's because government is working in its own way. Lagos, we have had some good achievements. But in terms of the institutions themselves, Nigeria can be better. We cannot keep comparing ourselves to America, US, because we are borrowing their own model. Why can't we look at Singapore? Singapore, every good thing we have, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by which we have these democratic institutions, it was given to us by the military. Mm-hmm. Majority of all the good things, some of the bridges, everything, the roads, Lagos, they were built by the military. So it does not mean that, even then, the kind of government, the systems of government we had then, they were not totally bad. They gave us some things. And democracy is really alien, foreign to us. We can always modify. I am not saying we should throw everything away, but we should look at ourselves. Are we really practicing democracy as we have on the pages of books? No, we are not. And that's because it's not us.
Okay.
You have let me just finish. You have a situation where you have a president who has to water the ground. before the houses work well. Should that be the case?
We got $5,000.
There's a language in politics.
Yes.
That I was interviewing a former governor, and he was saying, when I said, don't they carry you along?
Yes.
He said, no. In politics,
There are caucuses.
he said, in
meetings before
politics, he said to me, in politics, the term carry you along means another 10.
Totally.
Another 10, not thing.
They don't carry the
you
people along. They
Just
carry
saying.
themselves
No,
along.
no, please. You have to be there to understand that language. But we have some comments already coming in through our platform X. And this one is from Tola. Says, to strengthen democratic institutions, we need a virtuous circle of leaders and institutions. What we have now are absolutists leading and creating a vicious circle.
Festus Akimboyewa says, while our democracy is not great and our institutions such as judiciary, police, civil service, and our press that are becoming more dishonest need serious reform, it's erratic to say we don't have a democracy. People must be careful with their utterances so as not to invite the military to uproot our democracy. Trust in politics all over the world is low, and that's a fact.
Pastor Loa Fakros says, leadership recruitment procedures in Nigeria is defective. No thanks to the fact that poverty has been weaponized, thereby rendering the people's ability to choose right comatose, and at the end, money bags without requisite credentials and expertise emerge. Well, clearly we have some very fantastic guests joining us on X this morning.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Shobodu. Dr. Shobodu, the people, that is what democracy is supposed to be about. Do you believe that we, the people, actually appreciate the strength that we wield in a democracy? Because some say that the various arms are getting away with what they're getting away with because the people don't know their rights or don't want to use the rights that they have.
Well, yes, democracy is about the people. And when the chips are down, nobody just gets into an elected office by himself or herself. Somehow, somewhere, the people are involved. I think that, yes, the people have a critical role to play. I mean, let's take at the state level, and you have, members of the assembly at the state level. I mean, the guys live around us. We know their houses, we know where they live. All right. If we're serious about getting our message across, I think the people have a way that they can pass that message across. And we haven't been doing that. You fold your arms.
Doctor,
maybe voted for somebody.
Doctor,
yes.
I beg your pardon. You know where he lives. Can you get near where he lives? He's shielded from you. He's protected by policemen and soldiers. You can't reach him.
Let's be. I like to be practical and to speak from my own experience.
Yes.
So for example, when I hear people say that you vote and your vote doesn't count and stuff like that, I just fail to understand that, because when I vote, I know my vote counts, and I've seen the effect of such. The problem is, if you lose, you lose. We don't like to accept defeat. It's part of the problems. There are some fundamental problems with people as well. If your person does not get elected, then your vote did not count. That can be the basis for the kind of democracy you want, because you see things only from your own perspective. Now, I know that when the time comes, for elections, I mean, the guys come around. Don't they come around? They come around, they come knocking our doors, they come, singing all around the place. All right. It's an opportunity to interact with them.
Dr. Shobodu, where do you live?
To also express.
Dr. Shobodu, I beg your pardon, where do you live? Nobody has ever come to knock on my door to campaign to me.
Okay, so maybe that's peculiar, but I where I live, and for every time I have voted in the last, I mean, 4 cycles, I know the person who is representing me in this area. I know the
Really?
person, and I know the person because, in the course of their campaigns, there are personal interactions, and one tries to get to know them as well. There have been instances, I will tell you, when there's certain construction work that was to be done, in my area. And, suddenly overnight, they just began to break things and to do that. And I said, nobody told us, we are not ready and all of that. What did I do? Because I had that, access, I called up the person who is representing my area. And the issue was resolved. The issue was resolved. So if you tell me that this thing is not working, based on my experience, I would not accept, because I see it working. I'm not saying that they are perfect, all right, but I'm saying that, are we going to now fold our arms, and say we as a people we don't have anything to do? Somebody once told me, and this was a senior person in my days in the bank, when I went to complain about a superior of mine. And, he looked at me and said to me, he said, look, the right of way is not given. You have to take it. We need to do more to get our voices heard. The fact that, people have, I don't know how many of them have, that much fortified, environments and stuff. And by the way, also, the way that we, react to them, we also need to be wise about it. If you are relating with people who are already on the seat, it's not about force. It's not about, trying to make them stupid or, disrespecting them or being rude towards them. That will get nobody anywhere. It won't get anybody anywhere. You go to a place, and because you feel that the people are not doing well, you just talk down on them, you insult them. They are not going to listen to you. I mean, who will listen to you? There's a way to do things as well.
Okay.
There's a way to do things.
Okay.
So that's what I think the people have a role. I think the people cannot wait for the systems to be perfect.
Yeah.
You must find a way of getting your own message across. You must find a way of using your own leverage, to get people to listen to you. Yes.
Mr. Loyere.
Yes.
He is a very fortunate Nigerian because they came to campaign to him. Have you been that fortunate? Has anybody come to knock on your door to campaign to you?
I don't have that kind of access, and they don't seek any access to me. So,
Because you are just one vote.
I'm just
and they'd
one
rather
vote.
go to those to whom they can give 5,000 naira.
I will agree with Dr. Shobolu to the extent that, yes, I follow my vote. Anytime I vote in Surulere, where I come from, I stay there till it's counted, and it looks like, yes, my votes count. I have never lost interest in voting. I will always vote. When my children came of age, I ensured that they went to register, so that we cannot leave Nigeria to them. We can't say, oh, we are not interested anymore. We have to ensure that our children, they believe in democratic principles, even though we're not seeing it at work. I'm not losing faith in this country. I mean, we have nowhere else to go. But you see, most of the politicians, they take it for granted. Why should you come home only during election time to come and campaign to me? Yep. Why don't you come home before then to come and talk to us and tell us why government has to do what it is doing? He talked about talking down on people in power. Now, you have a situation in Nigeria now where when the Gen Zs, the younger ones, when they talk, they have been brought up to talk. Unlike our own generation, you dare not talk down or talk to your father or mother anyhow. We brought our own children up to talk to us, to talk down on us, to tell us that we're stupid.
No, talk to us.
Yeah, I have said it here before. My daughter looked me and my wife in the face and said, your generation is a generation of cowards. Would you have said that to your dad or mom?
Your dad is talking and you're looking down.
Looking at
first question
I'm talking. Look, he will say, I'm talking and you are looking at me. Then when you look down, I'm talking and you are looking down. You can never get it right with
I'm
them.
talking, you are talking.
You
Who
are
are you, by the way?
Every way you are guilty. So you have a situation. Look at the first lady did something wonderful. I read about it early this morning. The nurse people,
Yes.
our mama and all that,
Yes,
when they were
yes.
singing. And then immediately, you see, that's the problem. The institutions are the ones that are not working. It's not necessarily the fault of the individuals in power, the president, the wife, the governors, but the people around them. They try to insulate them from the truth. When look at the provost of the college immediately issued a query to the lady who posted that video, and then the first lady. 2 days ago, I told somebody, I said the first lady is a well-formed politician. She has thick skin. I don't think this kind of thing will disturb her. If she had an opportunity, she probably would have addressed it immediately. Look at it, and she will sing along with them. But look at what happened. The provost said no, and then it took the intervention from the governor's office to say no, you can't do that.
The
But
commissioner.
the first lady then stole the match, and then said no. Young people will be young people. The youth corps that said something immediately, 77,000 was paid. Why is it that those who are around them, those who are to run the institutions, they prevent these people from
You see,
hearing
you have
the truth
already
from
answered.
us?
You have answered my question, Mr. Oluyede.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's the way I started and it's the way we're wrapping up this segment. And that is, it's always going to be about the people. If we take our eyes away from the people element, no institution will be built.
Work.
So, Dr. Shobodo, I'm pretty sure that you agree, with that as well, because you are a leadership person. But we have some comments. This one is from Tom. Says, why do autocratic and monarchical forms of government thrive and make life better for their citizens? Let me cite Saudi Kingdom, Kuwait, and China. The international community even deal with them very well. Ours sought to promote peace and progress. See where we are.
Professor Nakena, we must implement true federalism by giving states and local governments more autonomy over resources and governance, strengthen local governments to ensure grassroots democracy, preventing governors from hijacking their funds, restructure revenue allocation to reduce over-dependence on the federal government. That's Professor Nakena.
Well,
That's where we're going to leave
Hang
it
it.
for today. Of course, as usual, this is just a conversation starter. There are many aspects of this conversation that we didn't have time to touch. But we may revisit this topic, you never can tell, because it's a very important topic. We need to strengthen our democratic institutions so that our leaders do not ride roughshod over us, the hapless Nigerians, who are the ones who actually vote them in. Thank you very much for coming to
Thank
share
you
your
for
thoughts
having
with us. Mr. John Oluyede, a legal practitioner who was with us in the studio, as well as Dr. Olatunji Shobodu, Associate Professor of James Hope University, who joined us via Zoom. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Sunrise will return in just a moment. Do stay with us.
But you're always on my mind.
let's talk about money. Okay, so let's talk about the Global Money Week, more precisely. It's an annual program, an annual global campaign aimed at raising awareness about financial literacy among young people in particular. Now, Junior Achievement Nigeria says it believes that financial education is essential in helping young people make informed financial decisions and shape their future. So this aligns perfectly with one of the core values of the organization, financial literacy, and its mission to equip young Nigerians with essential money management skills, ensuring they develop a strong foundation in financial literacy from an early age. 3 people from Junior Achievements Nigeria join us this morning. Let's begin with Mr. Oluwatosin Oyetayo, who is a Senior Programs Officer, Junior Achievement Nigeria. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. We also have Adeyemo Boluwatife, who is a beneficiary of Junior Achievement Nigeria, as well as Emmanuel Abioye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us this morning. How much do you now have in your accounts? Don't answer that question. But let me begin with you. They say ladies first. First of all, before you started with Junior Achievements Nigeria, what was your perspective about money, and what has changed?
Well, I have a perspective that I don't know how to save. I spend money a lot, but during this program, I learned how to save money and how to use it.
For you,
Yes.
the only thing written on money is spend. But now that has started changing. Is it the same for you, Emmanuel?
Before, I didn't really understand the aspect of insurance and budgeting and personal resource management. But now, I understand that to prepare for the future, we need to save. Though I have a savings before, but I always wanted to spend the money on whatever.
There was really nothing in the savings account. It was just there because mommy said or daddy said.
Yeah, I used to save to spend.
Oh,
You
save
save to
spend.
You're my guy. You and I are in the same WhatsApp group. But, when you see other people, Emmanuel, young people like yourself, who don't understand or who do things that you always did before now, and you see them do the same things that you used to do, how does it feel? What do you feel like telling them?
I really advise them I would advise them to make sure that they use the opportunity of Global Savings Week to learn how to save and also to use their resources very well.
Well, let me come to you, Mr. Uetayo.
Yes, sir.
You are clearly, your organization is clearly trying to promote this financial literacy thing. What role does Jan play in promoting financial literacy through this campaign?
All right, awesome, very great. So, Junior Achievement Nigeria, as you said earlier, our focal point is to ensure that young individuals between the ages of 5 and 35, they have
5?
Yes, and 35. They have the essential financial skills that would help them thrive in the global community. Right, so what we do is to ensure that we are able to partner with financial institutions, private organizations, and educational institutions as well, to ensure that we reach our target audience and beneficiaries for them to have the essential skills, that would make them thrive in the global economy. So that's the role we play. We serve as, the intermediary between all of these stakeholders, to ensure that we're able to reach our target audience.
In general, how many young people do you think that you have impacted with this?
Awesome question. Thank you so much for that question. And this just gives me, a goosebump around the work we do at Junior Achievement Nigeria. Yes, so over the years, we've done over 1.5 million across the 36 states of the country, including the Federal Capital Territory, specifically around this conversation. And just last year, we did roughly about 50,000 secondary school students, young individuals, ensuring that we equip them with this same knowledge. So yes, and we are pushing to do more than that this year, compared to what we've done in the past.
What are the key things that they learn after taking part in this Money Week?
Yes. All right. Awesome question. Now, the beauty of this program is that we have the information, the knowledge, the essential curriculum that we use to drive this conversation. And so what we make sure that they understand is, first and foremost, what money is all about. For the program so far, one of the key learnings from the curriculum is we have one of the icebreakers where we expose them to ask questions like, where does money come from? And you're amazed that secondary school students don't know where money comes from, even in SS1 and 2. So, it makes them understand that they have a lot to learn. And so we start from that conversation of where money comes from, the cycle of money, that for you to understand money well, you need to understand that there's a system money works with, which is the concept of how to earn money. And also because we know that their age is a very, very delicate one, they're exposed to money at a very, very young age as well. We also teach them the concept of not earning money in the wrong way. Yeah, so we teach them how to earn money, how to save money, how to spend money wisely, as was mentioned earlier, how to budget, and most importantly, we also teach them how to donate, because we pride in the fact that we are a non-profit organization, and so we give back to the community, and we must also inculcate that in them, making them understand that donation is beyond just giving money, is every act of random kindness that you're able to give to your fellow individual is donation.
Let me ask you, Boluwatife, if you would advise other students who have not participated in this Global Money Week, what would be your advice?
Well, I advise them to take advantage of this opportunity, because financial literacy is not just about numbers. It's about knowing how to save money so as to plan ahead for the future. So I advise them to take advantage of this opportunity.
Is financial literacy all about saving money?
No, it's not all about saving money. It's about budgeting, saving any money, then donating. That's...
Okay. Emmanuel, do you agree?
Yes.
What would you like to add to it?
I'd like to add that in our daily
I'm
life-
asking you because, you know young men. People like, what's that game? PS, which one is the latest now?
5.
PS5 is. PS5 is the latest now, and as you said, some of them still save to spend.
Xbox is
PS5.
no longer in vogue. That's
It's
old.
still.
See, he knows. So that's why I'm asking you.
I would like to advise them that in our daily life, I like to say something. In our daily life, we actually come across financial literacy every day of our life. Anything we spend, we have to budget it. And if we don't budget it, well, we can spend too much, or we can lose track of what we are spending, and we can lose our money.
So in terms of making financial decisions, Boluwatife, if you were to make one change to improving financial education among students, what would it be?
Well, I'd like to make it as a subject in my schools, a compulsory subject for both science, art, and commercial students to have it.
Wow.
This one don't change any RC curriculum.
Now, wow.
The whole subject. That's how many lectures?
It is that important, you think?
Yes.
You agree?
Yes, I agree.
Are you sure you guys didn't
Because it's
rehearse
something
this?
we come across in our daily life. Mathematics, physics, and chemistry might not come across them in our daily life, but financial literacy is every day of our life.
So, from what class would you suggest that it becomes a subject?
I think from GS1. Yes, from GS1.
JS1, sometimes they are 11 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
They need to know how to spend right.
They need to know how to spend
Spend right.
right. Okay.
Do you now know where money comes from?
Yes.
Where does money come from?
Money comes from CBN, that's the Central Bank of Nigeria.
At least you are better than some people who will say it comes from mommy and daddy.
Well, for them, it comes from mommy and daddy. Where else do they get money from when they're young? It's from mommy and daddy.
So, Mr. Witayo, what are the next steps for Jan in advancing financial literacy in Nigeria?
All right, I would not agree with them less, obviously. So, at Junior Achievement Nigeria, just as they've said, we are looking to drive the conversation to ensure that we partner with the necessary stakeholders, that is educational, government parastatals in charge of the curriculum, ensuring that we're able to include or inculcate the financial literacy conversation into the educational system. Yeah, so we are trying to...
Are you sure she is not the Minister of Education, who already made up her mind that this is what she's going to do?
So we are working around policy advocacy and governance to ensure that we are part of the conversation around...
How about the students themselves? Because that's a major stakeholder. How do you think, I mean, let's be honest, let's be real. I mean, as you said, unless you were educated, you saved to spend. Yes. Now, someone is advising you, say, okay, financial literacy, brouhaha, and then next thing, you can't be spending anyhow anymore. You can't buy the things that you desire the way you desire it anymore. How do you think students will receive it?
I think that you can still buy what you want, but you have to put your needs first. That's where budget comes in. A budget is a plan, a financial plan, which gives you which you put your resources, that's your money, and your needs and your wants. Your needs will come first before your wants, and you have to know when to also invest. That is, investment is putting money into like a business or organization in which you get your return of interest. That's ROI.
Okay. What class are you in?
I'm in SS3.
Have you invested in any businesses?
Yes. I'm currently doing an agricultural invested with my mom.
What about you?
Yes, a bead making business.
Bead making business.
Yes.
Do you agree with him that
Yes, I do.
even young ladies should save money?
Yes.
With all the
agree.
this thing that they normally do, they want to take care of themselves and all
They
those
want to buy bone straight and all that.
and bone curve.
Okay.
You agree?
Well, our kids are becoming businessmen at a young
No,
and
they will-
women at
they
a
will-
young age.
They won't be able to spend money on you if they don't do this.
True.
Exactly.
When we are old, we need them to look after us. Right on, people. Right on.
Thank you. Just make sure you invest in them properly. Otherwise. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Oluwatifeya Adeyemo, as well as Emmanuel Abioye. Thank you. And we wish you all the best post your participation at the Global Money Week, as well as the Senior Program Officer of Junior Achievement Nigeria, Oluwatosin Retired. Thank you also for your time and for the good work you're doing.
Thank you.
Let me try to contain my excitement. Let me try to contain my excitement for the next conversation.
If you try, I shall whip you into line.
Let me just cool down with this water. Yes,
See you in
it
just
doesn't
a
take away
moment.
your fasting. It's just water. Remember. In fact, that is part of the reason that my favorite attires are in white and gray. But anyway, let me try to contain. The National Old Students Association of Olivet Baptist High School, Olivet Heights, Oyo, was established to unify alumni efforts towards supporting the school's growth and preserving its legacy. While informal gatherings of former students had existed for years, the need for a structured body became evident as alumni sought to contribute meaningfully to their alma mater. Of course, the whole process and how it started and how we got here, we can talk about as Olivet Baptist High School turns 80. So over the years, NOSA has expanded, establishing chapters across different cities and countries, allowing thousands of former students to stay engaged and contribute to their alma mater. Please join me in welcoming three ladies and gentlemen here. Ladies first, they say, so please forgive me, gentlemen. Dr. Abiola, right?
Yes.
Dr. Abiola Babatunde Ojo is event coordinator and lead of the event coordination at the Olivet at 80th anniversary. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Can I talk to the gentleman here? The Central Planning Committee Chairman and former President, National Old Students Association, Dr. Olusegun Ramadu. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
As well as Mr. Lanre Fadaunsi, first Vice President, National Old Students Association. Thank you for your time this morning.
Sorry, if I may. That's Mr. Bola Olabinjo.
Mr. Bola Olabinjo. Okay, thank you. Welcome, sir.
Former president, and now the team lead for fundraising.
Oh,
So it's the pivot.
no wonder he's here.
Yeah, they are Akakpo.
No, the Akakpo.
One of the Akakpos.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady, for being here. Let me first of all take your what's the word now? Your fond memories, ladies first, of Olivet.
Okay.
There's so many.
So anytime Olivet is discussed, anywhere, anytime Olivet is discussed, it gives me so much nostalgia that everybody around me Even those who haven't been to Olivet, you know that there's something about Olivet. I remember the good old days of Olivet. Olivet has done so much for us. It has impacted our life so much that wherever we are as Olivetians, we're always different in whatever we do. So Olivet for me is a school I cannot, as long as I'm alive, I will always give
Were
back
you a
to
boarding
that school.
student or
Yes, I was in boarding school.
Okay,
I was
no
in
worries.
boarding school. So
Well,
the
let-
memories.
Let me tell you something. In those days, at least when I was in school, Olivet was one of the schools that was talked about quite often.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, shut up, cause trouble. You know that. So I'm not going to say that. I'll just say hush. But these days, we don't seem to hear about it much anymore. Especially the A levels at Olivet's. I mean, you guys were hot and you got talked about.
You don't want them to talk about their fond memories before you start shooting us with questions.
I should not ask question. Okay.
I didn't say you should. No, just halfway. Don't close it.
Okay. Halfway.
Mr. Labi.
Yes, well said. I will answer your question and then share my fond memories.
So that the lady is not hushed.
HSC in Olivet was a dream of other schools.
Yes.
You want to be at Olivet
Because you failed to attend the first 5 years.
because you are not accepted for the first 5 years. One of the things that I always say in my interactions with Olivet, that we are the few but the chosen, in the sense that for you to get to Olivet, there must be some commitment from your parents, your family members who have been to Olivet. Like for me, when I was filling out my common entrance, my dad was standing on my neck. He said, "What's your first choice?" Olivet. "What's your second choice?"
Olivet.
"What's your third choice?" Olivet. And I have zero regret of attending Olivet, in the sense that it has not only impacted my life, but even my friends today are all almost, I would say 90% Olivetians.
Wow.
In the sense that we associate, we relate, and we assist each other whenever the time calls upon us. So I stayed in Lockett House. That's why I'm answering that question, because that's green. So I mean, you name it. Is it the farming? Is it going to the scout camp? Is it going to the fish farm? I mean,
Even the
every
library.
experience,
Social events.
all the social events.
What house was yours?
Peanut. The
Peanut.
greatest house in Olivet.
These proud people. Your fond memories and your schoolhouse. Which
Your house.
My house was the great Atonda house.
Yellow house.
Indigenous.
Yellow house.
The own side.
They
Why?
sound foreign, but out of respect to the.
Well,
And the way
incidentally,
we have it in Olivet,
yes.
when you are gathered, the most senior person has the privilege of claiming the school title, the school house, and so on and so forth.
So in this gathering,
Being the most senior past president here, so the Olivet house, the main house, was at that house.
Chikena.
Well, it's but your memories first.
Quite some time now. Alero Abi.
I can relate.
Quite a number, but I will pick a few. Each time we went out for sports, for debates, for academics, outside Olivet, whether within Oyo Division, and Oyo Division spread almost as far as Oyo North, then coming to Ibadan, you will see people looking at us, with that eye of respect.
Yes.
This is Olivet. And they want to be a part of us. All our buses, where we had the Molo in those days in the Western region, they will be practically following us, even in Ibadan. And then when we now go for sports, we are always outstanding. It's not as if we won every time, but outstanding. You will pick us out of the crowd easily. And when Alero said that Olivet had it in those days with HSC, not just with HSC, even from the junior school, Olivet was unique. And then our revered principal, Reverend J.B.P. Lafion, will always tell you, this is a school with a difference. You cannot be part of the crowd. And that was it. So fond memories, each time we were there, strong, very, very good respect they will give to you. Internally, we competed, but in a very positive and healthy manner.
Yeah.
And that is the essence of boarding house, which, if I have the time, I will want to talk about as we go along.
Well, unfortunately,
the
we are
one
not doing
I will mention that I'm sure they will also agree to is that every December, the 1st of December, we entered in the Christmas period with a carol song that our ladies, the girls, will come clad in white all through by about 5:30 a.m. in the morning. So boys, they will come, of course, they will come to the classrooms and come through the boys' hostels. Trust what boys will do. That night, boys were up at about 4 o'clock waiting for the girls to come around. And it never missed. The first day of December, you were always looking forward to that. I don't think that happens in so many other schools.
Well, my house was Odetta, by the way, so all 4 houses are complete.
Yes.
Yeah. The red house. But before we get too much into the fun, let's hear you, sir, about this 80th anniversary that's been planned. We've had anniversaries over the years. This is the 80th. What's making this difference?
Quite a number of things. When we had so many anniversaries years back, things were not too bad, so to say. Apart from the fact that 80 is also a unique number in terms of anniversaries and celebrations, that's coming to be the age of real maturity. When you turn 80, you are well respected in society. But we said to ourselves, not just about respect, not just about age, but about where you are and what you are doing, of course, what you have done in the past. Olivet had been very good in all areas. But along the way, because of government policies, they made things to be difficult for education in Nigeria. More so for a school that was standing at Olivet, they pulled out the boarding facilities.
Till
and that
now?
was the boarding facilities.
Till now?
Till now. And that was the beginning of the slide for Olivet. So what we have said to ourselves that, yes, we must celebrate because we are 80 years old. We actually celebrated the Founders' Day on the 29th of January 2025. But we said, beyond the Founders' Days, we must do something that will be spectacular. For ourselves, enjoy ourselves, reunion, feel the Olivet in us again. Well, that's about ourselves. What about the school itself? Look back to 1st of December. Look back to be an Olivetian. Look back to coming into Olivet, but also give back to Olivet. What can we give back to Olivet? All students are doing so much, I must say, so much. Years, sets, chapters, individuals, so much for Olivet. But our hands are very tight. Our students, with due respect to them, cannot compare in terms of quality with when we were there because we had the boarding facilities. So we are saying to ourselves, what we want to give back apart from celebrating ourselves is that we want to bring back the boarding facility. Because the boarding facility is a linchpin in terms of good quality education. We, in those days, will finish from the classes. We go to our classes around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We are there till about 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., we retire into our halls of residence. At least 90% of our boarding students will do that. And then therefrom, siesta, go for games, go back for meals, and then go for prep. These days, what they do is that as soon as they close by the way, they will come from so long a distance to the school in the morning at about 7 o'clock, 8:30. By 2 p.m. when they close, where do they go? They're supposed to go back to their homes, but they go into the streets because the homes are empty. The parents are at work trying to eke out a living to be able to sponsor the family in doing so many things. So the young ones, impressionable age, 9, 10, 11, 12 up, they go into the streets.
These are sounding very tall dreams. So what are the items on the program?
Well, if I may just conclude on that issue of a boarding facility, because that
I'm
is the
actually
major
looking
thing
at the time.
that we want to do. Encourage government to assist us to have the boarding facilities back at Olivet. We are ready to fund it. Olivetians are ready to fund that idea. And that will be the greatest gift for the 80th anniversary.
Okay.
For the program of events, we're starting on a Thursday, April the 10th, through 11, the 12th, and the 13th. But the events team lead is here. And I will, if you don't mind, I will give the
The
floor to
baton
her.
has been handed over to you.
Okay. Just as he has mentioned, the event is scheduled to run from April 10th to the 13th. We've got very interesting lineup of activities. From Thursday, we would start with novelty matches, and then later in the day, we would have inter-school debates. So the event is scheduled, is programmed in a way that both the current students and the old students will feature in the entire week and 3-day program. So later in the day on Thursday, we would have a session where we would honor legacy senior students. We call them seniors, the elders, those who are 80 and above. We take them, have a luncheon with them. And then later that same day, we'll have a session where we relive the Olivet memories, just as you've asked us earlier on, where people share their fondest memories of when they were in Olivet. And then on Friday, we'll have what we call inter-house competition, the way it used to be in Olivet. Yeah. So we have people coming to contest all sorts of, we have program events that we've slated, and I can tell you people are already gearing up. We've seen grandmothers who are ready to do 50 meters race, and it's going to be very interesting. And then that same Friday would have
I
a
hope
variety
they know
night.
that there is speed limit.
They're not bothered by that. You just want to come and have fun. So Friday night is where we'll have a writing night. That will take us to the where it used to be in Olivet as social night. I don't know if you were in
what are you talking?
So it's going to be another social night where we'd have karaoke, miming, all sorts of activities. I'm sure all students who are listening to me now do not want to miss that night. And then Saturday, which is the core, the main event, the anniversary celebration itself, would have the event celebration with, we have dignitaries who will grace the occasion. We're expecting the chairman of the occasion will be Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. We're expecting him at the event, and so many other, the governor of Oyo State, the deputy governor of Lagos State, who happen to be an old student who will be in attendance. And then later that day, we'll be having our gala night. That will be the cap of Saturday event. And on Sunday, we would have the Thanksgiving at the Olivet Chapel, where we used to have our service then when we were in school. So it promises to be a very, very interesting time. It's not just coming, it's a homecoming for most of us. We're coming back to school to relive how we used to be.
Okay. Mr. Fundraiser, please, market.
Well, in order
market
to
your event.
In order to achieve the vision of the 80th, we intend to raise 1.5 billion in order for us to be able to deliver the promises that we made to the student and to the old student. If you remember, back in those days, NEPA was not dependable, so to say. So our first objective is to light up Olivet, in the sense that we'll have renewable energy commissioned that will power the school permanently. Along with that, we have a CBT center that we are going to inaugurate for the benefit of the student, so that they will be able to take their NEC and all kinds of JAM online tests. Then, just like Dr. Amado mentioned, we want to revitalize and bring back the dormitories. By bringing back the dormitories, we are assuring the government of Oyo State that we are ready, we are capable, and if they oblige us that opportunity and support us, we as all students will deliver on that dream in order to have our students in the right atmosphere and for them to enjoy the camaraderie that we enjoy, that is still keeping the old students in line right now with each other.
Okay, so if people are watching now who have friends and relations who went to Olivet and they appreciate that friendship, that relationship, and want to contribute, where should they send the money?
Well, thank you for that.
What should they do?
Thank you for that. To support Olivet, we have established, and luckily for us, Dr. Ojo is also the treasurer. So I can talk about money. She can keep the money better than I can do. So she will give the account. We Olivetians have been responding, and we will continue to respond. And we are asking corporate organizations also to support us. And we believe with that, please help us and let us deliver on the dreams of our forefathers by building the next generation to come. So it's to Zenith Bank. Over to you.
Okay, so the account name for those who are interested in donating, the account name is Olivet Baptist High School 80th Anniversary account. The bank is Zenith Bank, and the account number.
Okay, while you are still looking for it, can someone tell me if there is a Facebook page or website or something that people can get more information?
All of the above.
All of the above. Awesome.
Facebook, Instagram, just Olivet Heights Oyo.
Olivet Heights Oyo. Okay, I want to believe that this information that you are asking Dr. Ojo is also on that.
Yes, it is.
On that.
Yes.
Because I think that's.
We can still
Yes,
mention it, yeah.
I think that is even better. So people can go there to get all of the information.
We can just reel it out for a second in case anybody wants to take it down.
Okay.
So account name, Olivet Baptist High School 80th Anniversary. The bank is Zenith Bank, and the account number 131-235-0139. 131-235-0139, Zenith Bank.
You know, when you mentioned revitalizing boarding school, I remember that after my own Form 1 in 1980, that we heard there is no more boarding school. So please bring them back. Dr. Olusegun Amadu, Central Planning Committee Chairman and former President, National Old Students Association of Olivet Baptist High School. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Olabinjo. Yes. Bola Olabinjo, thank you so much for your time. As well as Dr. Abiola Babatunde Ojo, Event Coordinator Lead, as well as of the Olivet at 80th anniversary. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best. Sorry.
But before we go, I'm sure you'll bring Alero along when you're coming to Olivet.
Well, maybe somewhere on a picture on my phone. We'll be right back after now for another conversation.
Yeah, we had AMPA last week.
Yeah.
Well, they've been busy because they're here again this week. And let me remind you that AMPA is the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas, and it represents the professional interests of over 4,000 physicians, dentists, and allied health professionals of Nigerian birth, ethnicity, or empathy in the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean, providing a platform for medical and scientific dialogue on issues of health within North America, the Caribbean, and Africa, pertinent to persons of descent from the Nigerian diaspora. Joining us this morning to talk about the AMPA Week 2025, we have Dr. Lanre Jimoh, who is AMPA National Treasurer. By the way, they're all joining us via Zoom because I do not believe that they have arrived in Nigeria yet. Dr. Lanre Jimoh, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Hi. Dr. Philip Osehobo, Medical Mission Committee Chair.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pleasure to be here with you.
And Dr. Stanley Okoro, Medical Mission Committee Co-Chair.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here as well.
Are there only male doctors in AMPA?
Well,
no.
The female doctors joined us the last week. Please don't start another shut up. Thank you.
That's
very
correct.
much.
Yes, so Nigeria is ready and waiting for you all to come.
Please go ahead, Alero.
Are there any collaborations with any government agencies also, to actualize this year's AMPA Week? And that is for Dr. Jimo.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. We have many partners. We're partnering with the Federal Ministry of Health. We're also partnering with, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Clearly.
We're also partnering with the Lagos State Ministry of Health. In addition to that, we have other non-governmental partners. We're partnering with Rotary International, partnering with Indo Eye Center, partnering with M1, which is Medical Women Association of Nigeria. And we have other local partners in Nigeria, HFN, the Medical Guild. So we have several stakeholders in both governmental and non-governmental organizations. So it's a strong partnership.
So let me ask you, Dr. Oseobo, are there foreign investments or partnerships that are working on this with you that have been negotiated in connection with AMPA Week Convention? Any foreign partnerships or investments or collaborations?
Thank you again for having us. We won't call it investments, but we do have collaboration. Prominent among those is AMPA Foundation. And then we have some other NGOs based here in the United States, including NATMA. We have some institutions and facilities like Novant Health that has contributed in making this mission and AMPA Week very successful. But we do not have investment per se, but we do have partnership. And those three are top. We also have foundations and NGOs like Inkiru Foundation that is also contributing in a big way to these missions and convention.
So how about the incentives? And that's for Dr. Okoro. How about incentives? What incentives is your administration offering to foreign medical professionals and investors who are looking to contribute to Nigeria's healthcare practice?
Thank you for having us today. I just want to kind of lean back to Dr. Jimo's comment before I start. I want to make sure we don't forget our partners in Nigeria, which is the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUT, and Federal Medical Center, Ebute Meta, in Lagos as well. So those are other hospital partners. In terms of incentive, where to bring foreign investment, when you look at the average Nigerian physician, we want to make sure that when foreign investment comes to Nigeria to establish healthcare system, that the physicians in Nigeria are well trained. The average Nigerian physicians do not have some of the basic things that we need them to have, like basic life support. So one of the things that we're doing for AMPA to create an impact is to train and teach not just physicians, the healthcare personnel to learn and know how to do exercise basic life support. So that when you establish a hospital, you actually have a trained workforce. The workforce that we have right now is not really what we like to have. So AMPA is going to try to create that stuff and also have the general population learn about other healthcare things that we as a general population in Nigeria need to have. You need to have those foundation before foreign investment can come. AMPA is a non-profit organization in the United States, so we are not a governmental organization. What our goal is to have a healthier Nigeria in a healthier world. That's part of our model. So if Nigeria is ready, then other foreign investment will come.
Dr. Jimo, Is the mission looking to showcase any new medical technologies or breakthroughs?
Thank you. Absolutely. Every year when we do the medical week, there's a lot of skills transfer involved. We are shipping supplies and new equipment to Nigeria with us. We do training workshops, a lot of new innovations around robotics and laparoscopy. We're going to be doing some training with those regard at Luth and also at FMC Ebutemeta. I myself will be showing a new way of treating hemorrhoids, so in a non-surgical fashion, which you guys call piles. So innovation is something that AMPA brings every time we come to Nigeria, and this year is no different.
Interesting. Now, Dr. Osehobo.
Yes, sir.
Is there any way in which this project this time around is contributing to medical students, medical training, medical empowerment?
Yes, sir. Just to piggyback on my colleagues, Rotary International is one of our partners as well, and Ophthalmological Society of Nigeria is also one of our partners at this mission. To your point, we do have AMPA mentees that are medical students, interns, or residents across the country that come alongside us to participate, and by so doing, we're able to impact some knowledge. But on the matter of absolute skill transfer, part of the OSN and Indo-Eye partnership with AMPA this time is bringing one of the world-class renowned ophthalmologists to come and train and teach and help our local ophthalmologists in Nigeria learn state-of-the-art glaucoma surgery. As you may know, you can count on your fingertips how many glaucoma specialists we have in the country and how many of them can do this specialized, very high-level surgery. So that the OSN is participating in, and that is a huge knowledge transfer. We also have, during this training, programs like Helping Babies Survive, which is, again, state-of-the-art a program that is designed to save lives within the first 30 days of birth. Realize too that our infant mortality in our country is very high, and it is this kind of resuscitative measures that we are taking to the rank and file, not just medical people, but even non-medical, to learn how to obtain these skills that may mitigate our very high mortality rate. And I will not also forget to mention another novel program called Stop the Bleed. Stop the Bleed is a program that is available to, again, train and help medical and non-medical people to assist with major trauma and hemorrhage for any kind of accident or incident that involve blood loss. As you know, accidents on our highway is very high. Even accidents at home, when people start bleeding, immediate cause of death is usually profuse hemorrhage. So these are some of the skills transfer that are high and specialized that we are bringing, that both medical students, medical professionals, and non-medical professionals will benefit from.
Okay. Dr. Okoro, will there be any policy changes or funding commitments based on discussions from the convention?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that question. Part of the things that AMPA does in Nigeria is not just direct medical or surgical care. As you know, the only way to really change the healthcare system is through policy and impact in the country. One of the things that we're going to be pushing for is a national legislation that will allow or will require every medical doctor, hopefully every healthcare professional in the country, to be certified in basic life support. As you know, we've had some famous deaths when people are choking or having problems with breathing or heart. People are taking pictures, people are praying, people are pouring water on them instead of assisting the person that needs help. So we are pushing to have policies where this will be a national requirement. And we also have other policies that we want the federal government to invest in. Our healthcare system requires a lot more investment from the government. A 3% or so in our national GBT to healthcare is inadequate to support the growing population and health needs of the entire country. So we're going to push all that as much as we can from here. Thank you.
Dr. Jimo, I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians are looking forward to this mission arriving in Nigeria. If one wanted to take advantage of your coming, what would they have to do?
Thank you very much. We are going to be working with partners in Lagos, FMC, Ebutemeta, and Luth. The easiest way to participate is to get in touch with the providers at those facilities. And there are ways to enroll and register. So I would encourage them to go to Luth or Ebutemeta FMC, Indo Eye Center. We're also going to be doing some breast cancer screening at Lakeshore Cancer Center. We want to make sure that our gains this year is more than just for the medical week. We are turning 30, as you know. So we are looking at what happens now beyond the medical week. And that is why this is different. That is why we chose to come to Lagos for our annual convention and scientific meeting, which starts on the 9th of April, right after the medical week. So how do we then change to a more sustainable engagement on ground in Nigeria, engaging with local partners and leveraging our international network to come up with a strategic long-term plan on how we can bridge the gap and fill some of those deficiencies and bringing back the talent that has left. So everybody's talking about JACBA, doctor shortage, healthcare training, healthcare workers training. AMPA wants to encourage more JACBA. So how do we bring this talent back? How do we, and that's how, like my colleague said, when we are able to bridge the gap, bring the healthcare workforce to a standard that is acceptable, then you start to see investments start to flow. When we start to work on the advocacy part, and ANPA has a very strong advocacy arm, NPAG, it's a foundation, an organization that focuses on advocacy, a spin-off from AMPA, and we also have a business arm that is coming. So you're going to see AMPA really in a more dynamic role and in a more permanent fixture in Nigeria's healthcare system. So it's exciting. What happens beyond this convention and medical mission is even more interesting. So I suspect we're going to be back on your show a couple more times in the coming months to years. Thank you.
Well, I look forward to receiving you.
Absolutely, something to look forward to. But one other question that might be interesting to ask is where or how you see, and this is for you, Dr. Osebo, whether you see any policy changes happening for this, any policy changes that needs to be adjusted so that the gains of AMPA Week 2025 can be sustained beyond it.
Thank you again for the question. As you have heard my colleagues and partners mention, part of why we are coming back this year, particularly to Lagos, is for our 30th anniversary. And during that 30th anniversary week that begins on the 10th at Echo Hotel, we hope you guys can come as well. We're going to have a presidential roundtable. And during that presidential roundtable, our president, Dr. Cliff Eke, is putting together very high, seasoned, esteemed government officials and non-government officials to address that specific question. What does it look like if what we have brought the past 1 week become a permanence? What are the kind of things or leverage can we bring to allow the sustainability of the knowledge transfer and skills transfer that we have brought? What is expected of us as AMPA, and what is expected of the government in order to create a marriage that allows the improvement in making Nigeria a healthier nation in a healthier world? All of those conversations and dialogue, we hope will be very, very delved into during the presidential panel, during our AMPA convention. Yes, we hope following those conversations, because we are hoping to receive senior government leaders, ministers, and directors and chairmen, we should be able to come together with 1, 2, or 3 actionable items that we can closely monitor to be a game changer in terms of policy. Dr. Okoro alluded to a very important point that we hope we can take away when we are leaving, and that is the push for the legislation to make BLS a basic necessity and requirement for all healthcare providers. Interestingly, that is so basic here that we think it should be an easy win and a low-hanging fruit.
All right, well, Dr. Okoro, this next question is for you. I mean, it's like cooking the food, preparing the party, and getting all the musicians, paying for the hall, setting up the hall and everything, and people don't show up. It's an absolute waste, some people would say. So in your opinion, Dr. Okoro, what message do you have for Nigerians who are hopeful for lasting improvements in our healthcare system?
I thank you for that question. That's a very interesting question. As you know, our healthcare system, we basically have. I practice medicine in the U.S. and also in Nigeria. I have a practicing license, and we have a different levels of healthcare, and but most Nigerians do not have access to basic healthcare. There's private and there's public. Our public healthcare system, in my opinion, seems like it's in collapse. I hope that with us bringing all of this stuff to attention, I hope that those in charge in government will invest more in our public healthcare system. If you go to the private healthcare system in Nigeria, there's robust private healthcare, but the average Nigerian cannot afford it. Basically, wherever you want in Nigeria is there, but in the private healthcare system, but it's not accessible. People are traveling to outside of the country, Dubai, India, and all kinds of stuff, but everything's already there. It really is, and we need to invest in our personnel and have access to public healthcare system that's robust, that's supported by the government. So I hope that with AMPA involvement in the healthcare system now, that we will bring more attention to public healthcare system, which will help create access to a quality healthcare system in Nigeria. I hope that answers your question.
Well, significantly it does, because at the end of the day, it's all about the people. We tend to say that in channel television, we're not just putting, word out. It's all about the people, how it's going to have direct impact on the people, both in the immediate and at a sustainable level. I don't know if Dr. Jimo has some last words to add to that.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to thank Channels Television for its partnership with AMPA. This is a partnership that spans over 2 decades, as you guys know. And we ask the question, what can we do? I think everybody has a little part to play. And I think Channels, as an organization, has prioritized healthcare and shining light to what we're doing, and raising awareness is the part you guys can play. We, as leaders in AMPA, understand our own duty, and we're trying to take it very seriously. A lot of commitment, a lot of dedication, and I want to just thank all AMPA members who have contributed so far to this project. We are also very cognizant of the deficiencies and what is going to be needed The public sector obviously has a role to play, and we can do our best in encouraging and advocacy, but it also matters the type of leadership we have and people participating in this democracy and getting the right people and ensuring accountability. But the private sector has been wonderful in terms of just innovation and being able to engage and work with us. We've been very, very impressed with the welcoming hands of our partners in Nigeria. So again, talking about what happens after is how can AMPA join this team and add value to both public and private players in Nigeria's healthcare system and bridge the gap in terms of foreign investment and foreign collaborations. That's kind of our role, and we are very clear-minded about what we need to do, but we're really excited about just being intentional and coming back home and being part of the system and not just making comments from abroad and making criticisms. We are rolling up our sleeves and getting in there on the ground and doing the work. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. But a journey of 1,000 years starts one day. We have to start now. Okay. And we are excited about the partnership, and we believe that with technology we've done telemedicine projects, digital consultations, virtual consultations. In Edo State, Dr. Oseobo here was a pioneer leader there. I think that was about 3-4 years ago now, and it's still going on. We're going to be partnering with other organizations like Mobile Health who are doing this in a large scale. So again, AMPA is going to be sort of a utility player in this journey. And so look out for what AMPA is going to be doing. Follow us on www.anpa.org. Contribute, participate, engage. We're here to help. Okay. We're excited about it.
Thank you. And Nigeria is excited and waiting for you to arrive. Thank you very much. We were just speaking to some members of the medical mission to Nigeria of AMPA, and AMPA stands for Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. And we had Dr. Lanre Jimo, who is AMPA National Treasurer, Dr. Philip Osehobo, Medical Mission Committee Chair, and Dr. Stanley Okoro, AMPA Medical Mission Committee Co-Chair. Thank you all very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. God bless.
Yes, and thank you for staying with us. We shall be right back with another interesting conversation in just a moment.
Yes, that's our artist of the week, coming a little earlier, right? Well, yes. So let's have conversations this morning with Chuks the General, dynamic Nigerian entertainment personality, renowned for his exceptional skills as a professional, MC or comedian, a presenter, and a public speaker. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you, sir.
Well, you've done 25 years in this industry.
That is very loud and clear. Yes, 25 years. I started this job in 2007, and I ran myself through university doing MC and comedy.
Interesting. And how has it been for you? First of all, doing this with school must be quite a task.
Yeah. Okay, how's it been for me? It's been very interesting. But first of all, it looks like it's a cliche already for every comedian to come on stage and say, we grew up from a very poor background, we grew up from a very poor background. Mine may not be exactly very poor like that, but my mom had to start business to see us into a better school to support my dad in what he's earning. But when he got to university, the comic part of me came alive, and I started doing the comedy business in uni. I became director of socials while in the university. Doing that joined with my studies was actually very good. So while my parents would send school fees, I can see myself through feeding with the small 10,000, 15,000 we were seeing then from about 2006, 2007, until it became brighter and became brighter. Then in Nasarawa State University, Kefi.
So you were doing this job before you went to the university?
Yeah, so, talent is in different phases. So you have to discover your talent, you have to develop it before you now have to display it. Display is the platform point where we all see. I discovered my talent early in like 2005.
Okay.
So I went to the first phase of my university in Enugu where I wanted to start, the comedy, start school. But for some reason, I paused and now moved to the north in Nasarawa State University where I schooled. So discovery points was about 2005. And I started doing this slowly. But when I got to the uni, it was a wider and bigger platform where I could now, have a ready-made stage for students, where you can graduate for students. Then we gradually tiptoe into Abuja to do Abuja events, from Kefi, that is just 40 minutes away from the city center of Abuja. So we can say that I started before I came into university, but major focus when I was in the university.
Okay. I was going somewhere with that question. So what did you study in university?
Statistics, BSc statistics. So I have a BSc in statistics.
You have entered her trap.
Is she about to ask me 2s plus 3s minus 5? Because I can't find x anywhere, man.
No,
you can't find x.
No. I mean, you were MCing, OAPing, and all that, and then you went and studied statistics. Please connect the dots for me.
I told you.
So, so that also takes me to what we are celebrating, that is Mother's Day. I think parenting a child is just beyond being called a mother and being called a father. Someone needs to hold your hand through career choice. I wasn't able to do that career choice. Maybe my parents also just wanted me to be a medical doctor. That thing that parents just want to do. So nobody really held my hand through career choice to say, you are good in this area. Don't be in science class, be in art class. Nobody mentored me in that area. So I just dived in. And, when I was already there, and I had to start just continuing my BSc. But somehow, I will connect the dots by saying that the school, going to school, education cannot be scam, like comedians say. Going to school helped my thinking faculty. It helped me, it built me. So my mindset is different from the mindset of that person who did not go through that 4 walls. So statistics made me think faster, behave faster, behave quicker. Look for X when X is supposed to be missing, basically. But science, arts, as you may try to ask me, is not connecting.
Well, I think your wife will be happy.
There's no connection. Is that what you said?
Literally, it may not connect. But I can calculate my money when I'm paid for events, so that works.
I think your wife will be happy that you cannot find X. For one, she'll be happy about that.
Sincerely, sir, Uncle Ayo, I cannot find X.
X is lost forever.
But I should really give a shout out to lecturers who taught us when we were in school, man. So, they just give us find X, find Y. I don't see where we apply that in real life. We're still looking for X.
You do, actually. You do find X. Because, for instance,
really?
Yes, you found your career. Didn't you?
Oh, that is X. Oh, that's fine. Okay.
So I'm just trying to imagine.
Thank you, that's fine.
I'm just trying to imagine a Chuks the General as a surveyor somewhere or as a statistician somewhere. That is why. It's not X.
Sincerely, I will give you wrong statistics of Nigeria. I will tell you that. I will give you wrong figures and I'll make everything funny.
Exactly.
So if that is my X, we will now say Y. Why am I statistician?
Okay.
So X and Y.
X and Y, indeed. Now, you are the comedian of the capital. Tell us, how is that? How does it feel to be the comedian of the capital? I mean, that gives us the impression that you are the #1 choice for any event planner or anybody who's having an event in Abuja.
Sincerely, ma, I must respect you and appreciate you for the impression you have. Your heart knows how to give you right impression. This impression you had is excellent. It is amazing. In fact, the president should make you essay on impression for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because this impression you made now is excellent, 100% correct. That impression, I would say thou say it.
Impression.
Because I think, in my own opinion, that I'm very good at doing this job I do. So the impression you have about me shows my capacity to cure depression of people.
No, it's not serious.
You saw what I did there.
You are not a serious
So do the
person.
You want to use impression to cure depression. We got it. Don't worry.
Yes, her impression about me being number one shows my capacity to cure depression in the Federal Capital Territory.
Then they should be calling you Dr. Chuks the General, but please, I didn't say that. Now, you have
let me say to you, Uncle Ayo, that the things you say are also very correct about the doctor. The president should make you essay on saying affairs because your sayings are correct and you're on point.
On saying affairs.
Well, it's not for fun that they call you general or that you are a comedian. What I don't know is your listeners on radio or TV, how they survive after you get off air. But we'll leave that matter for another day. I hope you didn't buy that title of comedian of the capital. But, you know, so there's your colleague Forever was here last week, and one of the questions that I asked him was, how come, you know, music, comedy shows, you know, how easy are they? And one thing that he said to me, which I find interesting, is that, look, the value or the setting up a show in one city would be different from how it is set up in other cities because of the economic climate and socio-economic development of that environment. Do you agree with him?
So perfectly, yeah. I didn't watch that interview. I'm a very strong fan of Channels TV, but I would have dived out Saturday morning. He's my very wonderful friend and colleague. We just spoke this morning. But what he said is completely correct. Setting up a show is different according to where you are setting it up. The language you will speak in Abuja, it's not the language you will speak in Lagos. That may be a little bit close to each other. But language you speak in Abuja may not be the language you will speak in an Agbo, in downtown, my village, where you want to do a show. So what you need to set up a show in the Federal Capital Territory will be different, both structurally, both choice of acts, both choice of performance, the flow you are bringing in will be different. I give an example. You know, Lagos is the business capital of Nigeria. So in Lagos, you're going to find lots of CEOs, lots of MDs, captains of industries, and leaders in the markets. You know, but in Abuja, you're going to have more government power than you have CEOs. You know, all the honorable members are here, all the senators are here, all the former governors finish their work and they come into Abuja. The 7 governors visit here, the president with his aides. So the nomenclature here is different. You know, when you're looking for sponsorship from corporate organizations in Lagos, you do packages that will fit them. You have to look for something that will fit, you know, the governmental structure in Abuja. I give an example. You can't completely be insulting the government and survive in Abuja because that is the market of Abuja. You know, I saw a comedian one day who was just doing jokes insulting government, and I called him and said, you're in Federal Capital Territory. You know, even what you're doing, I cannot say it is right completely because that's not what humor is about, you know, but you can't survive here because the nature of this market is about the government power. And so setting up shows are different. I think I absolutely agree with that. And we all go through that experience owning our brands.
It sounds like you just gave us a teething lesson now. So 25 years down the line, compare your first experience on stage with your matured experience on stage. And which one is your most memorable so far?
Okay, so I would just join, you know, 2 things together. First is that, so me holding the microphone as a master of ceremony will be about 25 years. But putting up my own shows, this year is my 10th year of putting on my own show called Generally Speaking. So I'm going to answer your question as an act and as an event producer. Quickly, I just run through it. As an act, emceeing events, when I started, I was like a raw talent who just trying to grow. You know, like the clip you're showing should be many years ago, you know, with so much energy and so much jumping, not really fine-tuned excellently, you know, but traveling down the years of emceeing the event, having different experiences, my craft is a little bit more fine-tuned than when I started. You know, basically it's a difference. You will see more maturity right now. You will see more excellent touch. You will see more deliberate intention in my hosting events and in my doing comedy. For most memorable, very quickly, I will say my most memorable moment I will never forget was many years ago. I think it should be in 2008. I went to MC a wedding. So I walked into the wedding. So the clip you're watching now, I'm dividing it into 2. I'm quite smaller, more skinnier than the guy on the microphone there. Very fast skinnier, you know, so, and I just walked into the event. I was wearing my waistcoat and the tie. I've not worn the jackets. So I had a bow tie and a waistcoat. You know, so, and the father of the bride, you know, came in and was asking me, where is Chuks the General, the MC of this event? Do you know him? And I said, sir, I am the MC. The man just laughed. He looked at me. He said, young man, are you okay? How can you be the MC of my only daughter's wedding? Are we doing child's play? Do you think it's children party? When we give birth to a 1 year birthday, we invite you. What are you talking? What are you the MC of? I said, go and call me Chuks the General. Are you not seeing the name? Are you General? And I said, sir, I am the MC of this event. He now said, who booked you for this job? How can you? The man couldn't just believe me. The man didn't believe me to the point that he had to appeal to the best man to start the event. That if I'm the MC, I can't start that event. I can't host that event. His friends are coming. He had big people coming, government people, industry people. You know, so that event started with the best man. But the best man knew me somewhere. He had seen me. And he asked me, are you not the MC of this event? I said, yes. But the father of the bride refused. So when the father of the bride stepped out to go and welcome one of his friends, the best man just gave me the microphone and said, do your best. I took the microphone. I gave that moment my best. The father was coming in. He was hearing the crowd laughing. So he stepped in and saw me on the microphone. The man was shocked. He was looking at me. From there, I carried on. You know, he didn't come to stop me anymore. He was enjoying it. I was enjoying myself. And I hosted that event to the end. And he came back and said, oh, sorry, I didn't trust you. I just didn't see how a round-head, small boy would just host the wedding. I didn't know your capacity. You know, that was one I can't forget.
Oh, boy. So generally speaking, it's 10. Is that what you're saying this time around?
Yes. Giant Speaking is my own flagship event. So from the word Chuks the General, Ali Baba gave me the name of the show. So the day I went to go and meet him in 2016, in 2015, I was planning my first show. He now said, what's the name of your show? I said, The Acts of Chuks the General. Ali Baba said, no, that general, just turn it and make it generally speaking. I did as if I was not interested in the name he gave me, but quickly I trademarked it, I registered it without him even knowing. I moved. You know, when you hear wisdom, you move quickly. So he gave me that name, and I've been doing that show. I had my first edition after meeting him in 2016, and so I did 16, I did 17, I did 18, and this is 2025, the 10th one. And this is very major for me, and this means a lot to me.
Well, now that you mentioned Ali Baba, I can also say Ali Baba is the one that donated this attire. So, don't worry.
Oh, he helped you too. Oh, yes. So he helped the two of us.
Ah, he's a helper. Okay, no, well, Ali and I go way back, something in the region of 30 plus years. So, I mean, we're that close. But, you know, the interesting thing is for a number of people who want to get into what you're getting into, and they're afraid what the future holds. They're funny, they have skills, they have talent and all that. But, you know, there are those who would also say, how do I get in? The industry is saturated now. In fact, part of the conversations making the rounds now is that we don't have enough comedians. But there is fear of how am I going to survive? What would be your counsel?
So I think for me, having done this job for so many years, is to say that few things have to be put in place. First, I would advise that young man who is watching me today and thinking about this in his heart to know that the talent you have is served to you as a raw package. Just like God gives us raw crude and we refine it to become petroleum for use. No human being wants to use raw things. Nobody wants to feed on raw rice. Nobody wants to drink the raw crude until it's processed. Take time to process yourself. Make sure you fine-tune, you refine that talent that you have, and let it be sweet for consumption. The moment you are refined and you are good, consistency will be the next thing that we advise. Once you keep going and you are good and you keep serving, in my opinion, good things never hide. Somehow, you will travel on this ladder gradually and slowly. But with that consistency and with the touch of excellence that you have, you will climb that ladder, and in years to come, you will look back and say, wow, I've gotten to where I am today. So consistency and being refined. A lot of people just come on stage, they are not refined, they don't know what to do, no mentor, there's no track on how they are getting better and improving themselves and developing themselves. Once you're not doing those areas, you're not crossing those T's, It will be a complicated journey for you. You'll be thinking comedy is very complicated.
You know,
but the moment you are talented, refine yourself, and I'm sure you will go very far.
While I understand what you mean when you say raw talent, no one wants to consume raw. This is raw fruit. We can consume raw fruit. Just say.
That only works for fruits.
It is a raw thing. So don't. So tell us about your show. What are the details that we need to know?
Thank you, Uncle. So the show, generally speaking, as it is for comedy generals. So this show is basically for the comedy generals. Of course, for every comedian, but the concept is that you will see generals on the bill. For this edition of the 10th edition, we are going very far to hit it hard and get it right. So on this edition, we're having it at the Congress Hall of the Transcorp Hilton in Abuja, and it will feature Ali Baba, AY, Akporo, The Stalker. You are going to have Funny Bone. You are going to have music by Timi Dakolo. You will have Godons. And I went on the social media side. You're going to have Brother Shaggy and all the top Abuja guys, MC Mitty, MC Fresh, an amazing guy, MC Fresh. You have him. These top guys are coming. It will happen in Congress Hall of Transcorp Hilton. And Richard Mofed Damijo, RMD, is our host for the evening. They do is our red carpet host. So it's a deliberate choice of people, generals in the field, you know, to give us good entertainment and celebrate my 10 years. Our gate fee, our tickets are out there. Regular is 10,000, VIP is 25,000. Let me quickly borrow your time for quick adverts. You know, we have our tables for 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million. Let me steal your time for adverts.
Okay.
The tickets are available at the venue tomorrow. 6 o'clock we start the show.
We're coming down. Just for your information.
Sorry.
Wait. Just for your information. Plenty people go pay this your invoice. So my producer has already said that she will send the invoice to me. I will forward it to you and our friend. Do you know our friend that we're talking about? Don't mention anybody's name. You know our friend.
So what I think is that when they send it to you, send to Ali Baba.
I'm just going to ignore what you just said now and just say thank you very much. So what next? After this show, what next do we expect from Chuks the General?
So primarily, I am a master of ceremony. I host events around the Federal Capital Territory.
You are still doing adverts, this man.
Very faithful to get me. No, you're saying what is next? So I'm telling you what is next, sir. It's not marketing, no. No, it's not adverts. I'm just saying what is next.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, it's not every day that Channels TV gets premium MCs come here to talk. You know, so for the privilege that Channels TV have to have me on I'm just trying to.
You are very correct.
So what is next basically is to get back into my event hosting, comedy as I always do, and I'm started mentoring younger people. And so for those out there who feels like, oh, how do I go from here? I have a lot of comedians who are me. I'll tell you what to do next, what not to. So mentoring it is for me, and that's focus. I'm my emceeing of events and hosting events. Life continues. And I'm one of the best. Let me say that. I'm sure Channels will be happy to hear.
Very modest guy.
Thank you very much for coming on our program. We appreciate your time. We are tired of your
Let me just say one more thing, sir.
You have started, though. What are you? Oh, yeah, one more thing.
Just one more thing, sir. Yes, sir. So tomorrow is Mother's Day, and I want to give a shout out to all the mothers out there. Every woman, every Nigerian woman, let me stay with my country. I want to salute women. I want to respect them. They deserve to be celebrated. Mothers are second to none. It's not easy to have a baby, nurture a baby. You know, I have a wife, a mother. I understand the power of women and I respect them. So shout out to women, and women, I respect you. And let me also say that women are the ones that women are the only people that only understand all languages in the world. My baby will be doing yeah. My wife will say the baby wants suya. I don't know how my 9-month-old baby wants suya.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Chuks.
I'm just trying to address some issues.
Thank you very much for coming to the program. Chuks the General.
Sir, I'll be back again, sir. I'll be back.
My baby wants suya.
Your baby wants suya. Go and put it in feeding bottle now and see what will happen. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I truly appreciate the time you've taken to come here to be our guest. We appreciate your time so much. When we return, well, this should have been our, what's going on? Home stretch. But now, home stretch now is the lifestyle segment. A lifestyle of love. Now, what does that mean in all of this context, particularly in marriages? We'll be right back.
Yes, so we are back. And we swapped things a bit today, you must have noticed. So we have the lifestyle segment now. And like he said before we went on break, it's a lifestyle of love.
Why is it difficult?
Why?
Is it difficult to live a lifestyle of love?
Nobody said it was difficult.
Oh, really?
Well, we shall ask the expert in a minute. And the expert is Mrs. Nike Adeyemi, who's a global speaker and a pastor. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Please allow me to ask the fair question.
Okay, all right.
First of all, happy Mother's Day. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, Abby. But I want to ask this, first of all. There are those who believe that divorce rates are rising unnecessarily, spiking. All over the world, maybe, but particularly even in our country, for whatever reason. Do you agree?
Somewhat, yes. I think.
And do you also agree that more and more young people are not interested in marriage?
Wow.
Yes.
You do?
On, yeah. Because I really talked about that last weekend in church. I talked about that. A lot of young people don't seem to be interested because they feel if this is what it's like, I mean, it's not, is it worth it? It's not worth it because of what they see on the media, what they see. You know, it's the negative news that really makes the news. And with this advent of social media, people are not happy with their spouse. Something is going on. They've set ring lights. They're ranting. People notice. They're already doing a choo-choo-choo-choo. Oh, looks like this couple are having problems, da-da-da-da. So I think there's a lot of that out there. And I think a lot of people, young people feel if this is how it is,
and I don't want
then
any
I
of it.
don't want.
So. Yeah, but on the flip side of that, there are still people who find their soulmates,
who are doing well,
find friendship, find true love, and are prepared to be committed to it.
You're so spot on, because I was saying last weekend that those who are doing well in marriage and who are lasting, who are, going on 10, 15 years and on, are silent. And I'm not saying that, I'm not bashing them for being silent. I'm not saying it's not okay to be silent, because honestly, maybe that's part of what's helping them. They're keeping their head under and they're, so, but that is not helping.
Just getting on with it.
That is not helping the narrative, And, I mean, marriage is work. I'll be 32 years married, and I'm not, it's the grace of God. I am not boasting, honestly. I am just saying this just to add to the narrative that you can last and you can be happy, because there's a narrative also that some people are saying those who last, maybe last is not the word, but those who seem to have longevity, who endure, whose marriages have not broken up, and they're going on maybe 15, 20. Most likely one person is not happy. I've seen that narrative, and I'm also saying, why must you look for what is not missing? Why is it so negative that you must say even those who are lasting, they're enjoying abuse? Somebody is not, it's just adding to the fact that it's as if marriage is not supposed to last. So that as to young people,
expecting it not to last.
Yeah, exactly. So that means young people are thinking that, okay, those who are long in marriage, they are suffering inside and just patching it.
I know they do.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this. Perhaps, I'm sorry, I hope this also helps.
Yeah.
Perhaps there is a misunderstanding of the word or term or philosophy of love. Because people will say, okay, don't marry someone you don't love, don't, love only someone you marry or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm even hearing another narrative that Some are saying love is
It's
not
not enough. I felt you were going
So
there.
what are you going to add to it? So do you agree that love is not enough?
They're saying it, I mean, love should be everything.
Absolutely.
But they're saying it in this context. I've seen people say love is not enough. You need respect. You need to be hardworking. You need to be, just those other things. But I think it still all comes under the umbrella of love. And it's because of how they've defined love. So if they say love is not enough, they have this picture of love as take anything, lovey-dovey, cuddle up to yourselves all the time, and that is not love.
Yeah, but cuddle up.
Love.
You get married, and within a month or two,
You get tired.
I mean, reality hits you.
Hits you.
You got rent to pay.
That is why they say love is not enough. Respect, hard work, mutual respect, hard work. Just those other things that would open your eyes if your eyes were not open before. That life and love is to continue to honor, to respect, irrespective of how the environment is. Love is a decision. That's what a lot of people don't know. It's a decision. Marital love is a commitment. That's why you take the vows. It's a commitment that when things are not too okay, we're in it. When things are okay, we're in it.
For better,
for
worse.
Yes. So maybe a lot of people they didn't have a proper understanding of what love is before going into it. And they don't have staying power. Like, people will say our mothers and our parents of old had staying power. But some will also say it's because they endured abuse, but not necessarily so. There are times things are rough, but you stick together.
But the challenge here is no one likes pain.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Nobody likes pain. No one no one wants to endure discomfort. Anytime I want to go and take injection, I'm afraid that I am going to faint. So nobody likes any discomfort. So the question, where the question is now is, okay, so part of the narrative also is people go into marriages, into relationships with a backlog of their own trauma.
Yeah.
The fellow that you are connecting with is also bringing
his own baggage along.
No, not just baggage of trauma.
Yeah.
Baggages.
So you both bring it there. Who is going to help who heal and all of that? So those challenges are there, and it would seem like unless those are addressed, we are not going to make any progress. So in terms of living this lifestyle of love, you're essentially saying it's a lifestyle of decisions that has to be made every day.
Yes.
But what should be the bedrock of that decision?
So talking about healing and trauma and everything, we advise singles to, heal, be self-aware. Years past, we didn't talk about these things, and many of us just went headlong into it. So you deal with it, you help one another, but we're saying to singles, preferably, be self-aware, get healing, get counseling, get therapy, get help, even before you find a mate. Help yourself to heal, to discover, look at your past, look at what triggers you. Help yourself to a certain extent before you find a life partner. And then even when you find a life partner, soulmate, someone to marry, etc., continue in that journey. Continue your healing journey. Be your best version of yourself. Continue to be better. You meet someone along that journey and you continue to grow. And if that person too has baggages, hopefully that person too is healing and is growing, and then you continue to grow together and you help each other to be better. Because in reality, life happens. Okay, in life, even if you're emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, you've dealt with all traumas or you have no past traumas, the fact that, and you both are clean like that, and you get married, life could still happen. Somebody could fall into depression that wasn't there before. Somebody could have a physical accident, car accident or whatever. We don't pray for it. Nobody wants pain. Is it an excuse for the other person to abscond? and you did not see that coming, that is where the commitment comes. You stay in with that person because you tell yourself that, what if it was me? Then my partner will do that for me as well. So life happens. Now, look at the uncertainty in the world. Sudden earthquakes. Sudden, just yesterday, we're reading about Myanmar and Thailand. Sudden disruptions. You can't even, there are families there too. There are married people there too. There are people who are looking for a lost one, might find a lost one and the other person is pulled out of the rubble. Their life was almost perfect before, but they have to deal with it and still be married, even if they didn't have traumas before. Now, that is their own thing. Now, you said you hate pain. We all don't like pain. I don't like pain. I don't even like pain at all. Whether physical pain, whether emotional pain, I don't like to see people go through pain. Talk less of even myself. But guess what? Mothers, pain. Especially if you are going to birth, whether it is not natural delivery, norm or CS, whether you take epidural or you don't take epidural, there's some level of pain. Forget social media. Or someone is dancing, she's pregnant, she's dancing, and you're like, oh, this pregnancy fits you. And then the next post, boom, ooh, cute baby. She did not post the pushing. There's some measure of pain. Exactly, so you don't like, you're running from injection. We take injection.
That's why
in the 9 months,
you will beg for injection.
You will even beg for injection.
That's why you people have the anointing.
No, it's not that we just have to. It's part of the package.
Now, we're talking about a lifestyle of love in context, in the context of marriage. And it could be in the context of single life, it could be in context of anything else. But the reason that this is going out, and I'm glad that you started by saying that people put out what they want people to see. And when something that was supposed to be good turns out to be not so good, it gives people something to say, social media and all of those things. But then there is also the impact that it makes. Now, you are advocating, it would seem, that those whose marriages are working should also start to speak so that people know, that it's a good thing. But then there is that Yoruba proverb that when your yam is you don't where you know they chop am cover am. Even though I know your husband says it's because the yam is not big enough.
So that mentality is
so that could be part of the reason that people are keeping their things. People talk about only what they know. So please, what's the balance here?
I think those who are doing well in marriage and who have been married for a while, they know certain things. They can share. They can come on programs like this. They can coach on social media. They can post 5 tips to help you in marriage without necessarily saying, oh, this is my beautiful marriage, this is my beautiful husband, see all my children, without necessarily posting all those, is there really? But they should just speak up, and they should also be vulnerable to tell us the other side, because those who are doing well too, it's sometimes hard, but it's just that we went through the hard. So you can give tips of how I navigated a very difficult patch in my marriage. I've had tough patches.
To help others.
In my marriage, I've had tough patches. And some people, because maybe they know who my husband is, in their mind they're thinking, when you're married to an angel, why will your marriage not be sweet? No, he has to be real. I have to be real as well.
Are there really angels?
About the times when, are there really angels?
In heaven.
No, on two legs.
No, really.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's just how you see people.
That.
Yes, but people.
Since you're married to an angel.
No,
really?
I've not said I'm married to an angel, but some people think because he's a pastor.
Yes.
So those of us that minister to people on the stage when you're preaching, you look like
perfect.
So that's it. Yeah. So there's that illusion but. We don't live on that altar. We live in real life. So I'm advocating that people who have some longevity in marriage, I mean, whatever you call longevity, 5 years, 10 years, 15, speak up. Help us out. Help young people, help single people. Be a bit vulnerable. You're doing well in your marriage, but share the You know, just share some challenges, share how you've navigated life and how you're doing it. So it will give people hope.
Is it not also true that those who have longevity in marriage is as a result of the hard work which they have both put in?
Yes, ma'am.
It is not a bed of roses.
It is not, actually. So speak up if you have longevity in marriage. Speak up.
Let me ask you this, because I said something about trauma the other time, and I'm going to reiterate it a little bit. And here is why. There are those watching now. Alero has underscored something very, very important. People don't even want to think about getting married anymore. Just yesterday, I was speaking with a friend who was saying, as a medical doctor, she was telling me that, look, the best time to get married is before you are 30. Before you start having some complications that they call elderly something complications. And I'm wondering, at 30, someone is already elderly for giving birth?
Wow.
And so, but there are those who are afraid. There are those whose lives have gone not the way they want to get to. And I know you are organizing an event, next week, Saturday. And I know that part of what you want to address is for people to have this self-esteem thing. What role does self-esteem play in marriage? And why should anybody who is married to a fine babe, a fine guy, be insecure?
Okay. I'll take it from the medical doctor lady, female, that says 30 is the best age or the maximum age. That's the wrong mindset. You can marry at any age. I don't think there should be an age limit.
That wasn't the context. She was just saying that medically.
Okay,
but not
medically.
Of course,
in terms
40,
of having
50-year-olds,
children.
yes. 40, 50-year-olds still get married.
People marry and they adopt. People having children should not be the primary reason. It's a good reason, it's one of the reasons, but it should not be the primary reason. The primary reason is companionship. Companionship. To have someone to do life with together. The word says, and the Lord said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let me give him a helpmate. Means let me give him a birthing. Give him a helper that is comparable to him. And we read that before then, it was just animals that Adam had. For those of us who believe in the Bible. Let me give him a helper that is like him, bone of his bone, So it's not animals he'll be. So the first reason is companionship. And then procreation, children, all that can come into it. Because really, we shouldn't do life alone in times that we're in right now.
By the way,
we shouldn't do life alone.
Yeah, by the way, I used to get to that. That's what I
also talk about the event coming up. We shouldn't do life alone.
Well, in the course of the week, she had this viral video out. And so many people...
From my Instagram,
they latched on it saying that don't stop comparing your husband with a pastor.
I didn't even know it would go viral.
Say, my
pastor. It was part of my message on Sunday. But there was just a small clip that we cut, and it's on my Instagram page.
What did you mean by that? Because for a pastor's wife to say that, I mean...
I said, and it wasn't even in my notes, because if you know how I speak by inspiration. I can have 3 points, and at the end of the day, I've said 10 things. So if you're listening, if you're my PA or anyone listening, I will say, can you please send me your notes to tell me what you took down? That was not premeditated, but it came out. And this is what I was saying. I was saying that stop comparing your husband to your pastor, or stop stop singing about your pastor in front of your husband at home. At home, stop going, my pastor, my pastor, my pastor. Respect your own husband too. Stop putting it in his face. Because your husband may not be as spiritual as your pastor, but he's still your leader at home. And I said, actually, husbands like that, they may not have told you, but they feel like saying, go and marry your pastor now. So the men just went,
finally.
It was a moment. Even through that clip, that was that you said it moment. And I was like, yes, I went there. I said it. And so there are comments
You
like...
dared
Yes.
to say what everyone was
And there were
thinking.
comments like even Instablog cut a clip. Just blogs. I had bloggers carried it.
Anyway,
they were saying things like women and their pastor, or Nigerians and their pastor, or Nigerian women and their pastors are 5 and 6. And some women were like, that's true, we should do better. I liked that. Hardly anybody came for me. If they came for me, that's fine. But it was as if men and women too agreed that.
Anyway,
actually, that was too much. That's the thing.
But it is the truth.
Yes, and I said, don't idolize
some
anybody.
Women actually make their husbands feel, to use the expression, one kind.
Yes.
When everything is, my pastor said, my pastor did,
Anyway,
my pastor.
Instablog that you mentioned, they said you have finally broken the table.
Okay.
But yes, you wanted to talk
So it's
about
like I
that.
voiced the men's thoughts. I said, what he's trying to tell you and he has not told you is, go and marry your pastor now.
Yes, no.
And I think my expressions were like, yes. But it was just like...
So
Yeah,
yes,
so-
about that event and what informed, I'm particularly concerned about the fact that there are those who have inferiority complexes that they can't even explain.
Yeah. So I say to people, especially in their single states and also married, we all need to have self-esteem. If you didn't have it before, if it was lost or broken somewhere along the line because life happened in your childhood or whatever, reclaim it. Because when you have a proper esteem, you will not compare your life, whether single or married, with another. Even as a single person, you won't look at a married person and say, God, when is my... You will be content and you will be working on getting better. You will see yourself as a person of worth, and you will not even look at marriage as the ultimate. I'm married, but I'm the first person that will tell people marriage is not a passport for heaven.
Yeah.
Especially since, I mean, I have a Christian audience and I have an audience that's outside the four walls of the church. So that marriage is not a passport for heaven. And I said, thank God it's not. And I said, because for the singles, I think it should be easier for you to enter heaven faster than we married people. Because when we get to the gates of heaven, I imagine that they say, you're married, okay. This is Nikki, okay. How did you treat that husband we gave you?
Well,
sometimes you are angry at him, then I'm like, stand aside when we look at your file. Single people, you're here. You, oh yeah, enter.
You never
Just
married.
be going. Just be going because your devotion was just to the Lord. You're doing your thing, you serve the Lord. You are faithful at work, you shined your light. You know, when you sinned, you dusted yourself, you asked for forgiveness, you got up and you kept moving. You got to work on time, you didn't cheat your employers. You were good, largely. Okay, and you would ask for forgiveness whenever you fell. And so going, and I can just see them going in their droves. Because the Bible says that the single are concerned with the things of the Lord. But the married, okay, your devotion to God, but your horizon, is that horizontal? That's where we feel. You shout at each other, and then you forget to apologize, ask for forgiveness, forgive one another, and you're 3 days, you're still keeping balance.
And you're not cooking for him.
Oh, you're punishing him because you are annoyed. And the man too, he too looks for ways to punish, just, you know, cold or
stays
silent
away from
treatment.
home.
Yeah, stays out at work. And like, we have work, so I'm not coming till midnight.
Now has to work until midnight because
So
he
all
doesn't
those
want
things,
to
we're
be
just
with
saying,
you.
Let love lead on both parts. Let love lead. Let's just try and be better. Let's work on our esteem and be better and better for ourselves and for those who are coming behind, especially children who are watching, their parents as well. If they see you fight, please let them see you make up. Let them see you make up.
If they have seen you doing the fighting,
let
they
them
have to see you
doing the make-upping.
Let them see you apologizing.
Exactly.
Let them see you apologizing.
That is the lesson.
That's the lesson.
Yes.
And I always like to say that, you know, when you want to say sorry, don't say, have you eaten? Have you eaten is not sorry. Say sorry. That's gaslighting. We do it to children, we do it to spouses. Have you eaten? Say this. The have you eaten is not this. Say,
I am sorry.
No, you don't want them.
And then after that, you can say, have you eaten?
No. I don't have to say, forgive me.
Yeah, forgive me.
You don't want them to
because
use
I'm sorry is sometimes very difficult to say.
Why is it difficult to say?
Forgive me. And then the other person to say, okay, forgive me.
I'm sorry.
I also was not. Because when one person says forgive me, the other person should be like, now you have come to your senses. Other person should be like, forgive me also. I'm also sorry. You know, even if you feel that you are not the one at fault. So my event, like you said, I should talk about the event. This time Saturday, this time 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is all women, and then of course Sunday we'll have men in the building. But the theme is called Beautified. It's from Isaiah 61:3.
Well, my producer is saying
it gives beauty for ashes. Now, women have gone through a lot. Many of us have gone through a lot.
Run out of time, though.
We want to talk about allowing the Lord to beautify our hearts and our lives. On Saturday, I'm going to have a guest speaker. I'll be speaking, but I'm going to have Sister Betty Irabo. We know her popularly as Auntie Betty. She's going to be speaking about wellness, about overcoming depression, anxiety. She has a story of what she's been through, and she's going to give us tips on that side of things. And then on Sunday is going to be a massive Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much,
Well,
Mrs. Nike Adeyemi.
She will send invoice.
Mrs. Nike
She has heard
Adeyemi,
you.
global speaker and a pastor. Thank you for coming to share this time with us.
Thank you
this
for having
morning
me.
on a lifestyle of love. And that is where we draw the curtain on today's show. For this month, we'll see you next month with another, episode of Sunrise. I wish you all the best until then. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there.
Wait a minute. Today is 29. Wow. Thank you so much for watching. Live a lifestyle of love. Happy birthday to Mr. President. You started that the other time. Oh, you're expecting your cake. You're not sitting properly, so no.
Yes. President, we're expecting our cake in channels.
Sorry. Have a wonderful
Hint,
rest
hint.
of your weekend. What is hinting again?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.